Hi there, and welcome to this short video on the Contract Fulfillment Orchestrator, where AgilePoint, along with artificial intelligence, will transform your contracts into deliverables, milestones, and action items automatically. Now, before we get into the demo scenario, let's walk through a few quick slides to help you understand this application. Before we look at the technical capabilities of the solution, let's first visit the business value and requirements that informed this application. So as I mentioned at the top of the video, this solution is all about leveraging AI to take fully executed services contracts and transforming it into a high-level project plan complete with deliverables and due dates, milestones, and even payment terms. So AI is going to help us take that unstructured document and transform it into a number of actionable insights with tracking and accountability along the way. AgilePoint's process framework will ensure that all of these items are completed on time with consistent fulfillment across projects. All of this working to deliver additional capability for our organization and enabling us to effortlessly scale even in the face of increased project demand. Next, that brings us to the behavior of the various agents in this application. So to get things started, we have our task extraction agent, which takes a complex contract and transforms it into very clear deliverables. This will also accelerate project kickoff by instantly allocating tasks just by virtue of uploading a signed agreement. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, strengthens our compliance posture and reduces operational risk. And finally, frees our teams to focus on adding value instead of analyzing a contract. And then finally, we have our task allocation agent, which essentially takes all of the deliverables captured by our prior agent and intelligently assigning them to the appropriate parties based on an approval matrix. And again, by virtue of automating this via the AgilePoint platform, ensures accountability and ownership, as well as flawless execution. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump into the demo. So prior to running the application, let's quickly walk through the process model. The process will start with a new fully executed service contract uploaded once we're ready to kick off the project. Next, we'll call an API that's going to sanitize all of the contract details, including any personally identifiable information, so that security and privacy is maintained right from the start. And as a next step, we have our contracts analyzer agent, which, as we mentioned, is in charge of extracting key deliverables, clauses, and milestones from the agreement. From here, our task assignment agent will take over and intelligently assign action items for all of the deliverables with a sub-process for each assigned task. Now, along the way, we're going to maintain project status by updating our data entity. And finally, to close out the process, we're going to have a step for the manager review, as well as the customer success team. And upon completion of the project, we'll send out an email-based notification and store the document in the appropriate account record here in Salesforce. So with that being said, let's start running the application. So I've navigated to the landing page for the application, and across the top, you'll see a number of menu items. As a department head, I have a dashboard which shows me all of the projects that are currently in flight across my department, as well as the status of their associated deliverables. And down below, I can see more details about any given project, including due date, days remaining, overall progress, as well as the urgency, essentially telling us whether we're on track or not. A link to my task list and the ability to track these processes in real time. But for now, let's open up a new project by uploading a fully executed agreement. Now, each instance will have its own unique ID, as well as details of submission. The purpose of submission will essentially determine the process steps that are invoked as a part of this application. I'd like to show you everything, so we're going to select Extract Obligations and Milestones. And the contract sensitivity will determine which document repository our project documents are ultimately uploaded in. For now, let's go ahead and upload a new executed agreement. And while that's uploading, review the agreement itself. So this is an agreement between the vendor, Alphatech, and Burlington Textiles, the customer. It has a scope of services, obligations, as well as project milestones. Most of the details are included in the various exhibits at the end of the contract. So let's fast forward here. So as you can see here, description of services, milestones and deadlines, payment details, and intellectual property terms. So by now, our document should have been uploaded, which means we can click Submit and open up a new project. So with that having been done, I'm going to navigate to Manage, where we'll be able to track this process as it executes in real time. Okay, so we can see here a new project has just opened. Now, as of yet, we are now with the Contracts Analyzer agent, which means in just a second, we'll see our task assignment agent take over. And then as a result, we'll see a number of project tasks allocated to the appropriate parties. Okay, so our task assignment agent has just completed its work. And as I mentioned, in the real world scenario, all of these tasks would be allocated to responsible parties based on the nature of the work. But in my case, we're going to see all of that come to me. And AgilePoint provides us a couple of different ways to work with our tasks. So for one, I can always action these via email. So as an example, here as the manager, I have the ability to view high-level details about the project plan. So as you're seeing here, all of the key details extracted from the agreement are now visible in one single user interface, including all key clauses and details, obligations, milestones and payment information, and then finally here, the Action tab. Now in this case, we've obviously just opened up this project, so we're not ready to mark it as completed as of yet, but I did want to just quickly take stock of our high-level project plan. Now, as a next step, I'm going to play the role of a project participant. Now, similarly here, I'll receive an email notification or could action this from my task list. But let's go ahead and open this up directly from email. All right, so in this case here, I'm writing a design document and putting together a project roadmap with detailed project specifications and technical architecture. Okay, now in this case here, I do have time to work on this, but I haven't yet completed the entirety of my task. So I'm going to mark this as 50% completed. But in so doing, you're going to see that AgilePoint is instantly updating all of the details of all of the various project tasks. So as an example, if I were to go here and select View the overall project status, we're going to see that item that I just partially completed is instantly reflected here in my tracker. So now that I've shown you how to action tasks from email, let's quickly go into our task list and similarly show you the experience of working with tasks from the Work Center. Okay, so that same task that just opened up from email and is 50% completed can also be accessed from my task list. So in this case here, I have in fact completed this item. I'm going to leave a comment and knock this out of my bucket. So now that I've shown you a bit of variety, actioning tasks from both email as well as my task list, I'm going to process the remaining tasks here on my own, and I'll come back when we're ready to move forward. Okay, so catching back up here, you'll see that all of the project tasks have dropped off of my task list, and all that remains is the contract summary that we visited earlier. So now with all of those items having been completed, I can navigate back to the action section and attest that all of the technical items have been actioned. Coming back into our process tracker, we're going to see the process move forward for business side project closure. So now that task has been allocated to me as well. We'll refresh my task list and we'll see that now added. And similarly, we're going to close out the project this time from the business perspective. So now we'll go ahead and submit this to close out the project. Now lastly here, we're going to see a closeout notification be sent via email. But as you'll see here, AgilePoint is now querying the account record, again, what's extracted from the contract, and we'll go ahead and upload all of the associated project documents to the relevant account record here in Salesforce. Okay, so if I navigate over to the account record and refresh the page, and and scroll down towards the bottom, you can see here the document was uploaded just a few moments back. Okay, so with that, that's going to conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.